doing, so I actually have got a stopwatch on time.
15, 20 minutes.
Yes, I am one half of Stirred Poetry, that is a feminist poetry collective, well, pro-feminist. We have men on, we have women on, we are very trans-friendly. It's basically, we're having our 3rd birthday on Monday, and in honour of that, I'm going to read a poem that myself and my poetry partner in crime, Becca Audra Smith, wrote together. She made this rather beautiful little kind of, I don't know what it is, paper bookmark type thing for us. We read together yesterday. And I'm going to start by reading that. It's a poem that we wrote by texting each other over a number of weeks. We kind of did it in a kind of laissez-faire kind of way, but I quite liked what came out of it. Lick of paint to make life shine. Don't lick the paint if it's layered with lead. Poisonous history abounds. How easy tongues move in the mouth of those whose words mean nothings. Keep still, allow the lie to grow, take root, take breath and flourish. Weed your thought garden with care, so as not to uproot the truth. I will kiss the lemon roses in others' gardens till the next cloud bursts. The growling oranges mock the small suns and limes. This is how it tastes to want. Okay. If you want to clap in between, I don't mind, it's up to you. You don't have to do it. I don't know how it works here. Do people save it up for the end? Is that the announcement? I'm kind of like Tinkerbell, I need the applause, basically.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, if you want to clap, you can. Anyway, one of the reasons why I love coming to do the events that these guys do is I get to do all the strange experimental stuff that people don't always get when I do it at other places. This is a poem that I wrote after making a collage using images and torn up words, and like lots of poems I have written, there is a ripped off song lyric that's slightly changed, that those of you who like the Pixies may notice. I'm looking at Zach at the back there. But yeah, this, and also the title is from a piece of dialogue from a film. I've got so much love to give, I just don't know where to put it. You are ready to notice something. You offer all while guarding close. You want our bodies to buck, bite, give in. You've got to care. We merge interest. I'll wear that polka dot dress, and you know I always fall head over heels for boys with holes in their Converse. You illuminate me when you forsake your vision. You are my vacancy. Palm-struck as you were, you caught me, contained me palm to palm, an arm wound my waist. You might even reach my high anxiety, which performs its lies in transformed flesh. Your head is in a bitter whirl. You can sweeten me, honey. I know about the snowdrop in your suit pocket, next to your Parker pen and your spring-leaf tie. You shout your dilemma to appear. How to write the stars while breathing dust. My poems are a lot shorter than most people's who may be reading tonight. Okay. I always change my mind as soon as I get up here what I'm going to read. Earlier this year I was involved in one of the strangest and most lovely poetry projects I've ever done, called Penning Perfumes, where I got sent a unnamed vial of perfume in the post, and I then had to write a poem about it. It was something that Claire Trevian and a strange perfumery website organised all over the country, and I smelled this perfume, and it just smelled very English to me, and very woody and very high summer, and you know, when it's been very wet and then very hot and everything grows. So I went with that. Turned out it was Flora Botanica that is actually a very mainstream perfume advertised by Kristen Stewart. He never looks happy. And the title, for those of you that know your Dodie Smith and I Capture the Castle, I kind of nicked the title from that because the house that I'm writing about in it always reminded me of, well, I Captured the Castle Away, although at least we did have running water and I didn't have to dye my dresses green like they did. So this is called Captured by the Castle. I think I have tricked myself into conjuring bluebells. The carpeting in the woods that coroneted Hill House are cruciform folly now ghosting on Google Maps. Consider jumping the barbed wire fence where the pheasants skittered and gunshots ruptured to smear the sound flowers on my skin, cautioned by the scar on my thigh, a line to tell you where I hung once like the prey of a butcher bird. I'm going to do this one because I came home yesterday to find a note on the inside of my front door from the upstairs neighbour to tell me that the front wheel of my bike had been nicked. And I was very much annoyed because this bike is around 40 years old, quite rusty and noisy and clanky, and the wheel in question has been bent and rebent and is rusty, and the tyre is very old. And if it was a new shiny bike, I would understand. But it's a rubbish bike. So this is a poem that I wrote about riding that bike, which I used to do in Norfolk, where I'm from, very late at night because there were no buses. And it's called When I'm Freewheeling Lost. And there's a lovely illustration of the bike in question because my illustrator knows me and knows the bike. So when I'm freewheeling lost. I stalk the country lanes of my youth, always dream them even darker, fewer headlights zooming in and out, blinding me, showing up brambles and taking my sight, a girl alone at night. Discordant sound, shriek of birds, all fear of unseen talons and thorns, palpitations of bats, labouring a flat-wheeled bike home, more than half cut, cocky and scared, staring up at shifting stars, entranced by the moon, hands clasping the handlebars, the only thing I have a handle on. And all I can think of is that damp growth smell of grass and moss and cow parsley, night scent of freedom and terror. Okay, I'm going to do this one. This one was written. I think I managed to actually get rid of the line. So in the kind of recent problems with people stealing other people's poetry, I've tried to excise lines that I've used from anyone else's poetry. As far as I know, I think I managed to get rid of the line, but it was written on a piece of free writing from an Elizabeth Bishop line. I think the title maybe still has something of it. But anyway, they've been, apart from if they've been dead for an extremely long time, I have been trying to get rid of lines that I used from other people in my, when I'm doing workshops and things, I often use kicker lines, and then finally in the editing process just trying to get rid of any trace of it so I cannot be accused of any kind of plagiarism. But this is called Distant Flickering. They wink on and off on an undefined schedule, their nest of valley the lights. When you blink through the rain-smeared window, find yourself spellbound, and sodium orange street lamps rise into view, treading on fancy, scattering your half-boiled misseeings. The fantasy briars run large and wide, bordering reality on all sides, dangerous in its thorny beauty. I would not prune it for fear of losing the roses. Okay, I'm going to do some newer things. Apparently, National Poetry Day theme this year was water, and since I seem to write a lot of watery poems anyway, coming from Norfolk, where you're never more than 20 minutes from the sea, really, and then moving to Manchester, where it's very rainy. I've also lived in Carlisle that floods a lot, so it's kind of water kind of runs through my work a lot. I will read a couple of watery newer poems that are not in the book. This one I wrote at work. I work like many people in a call centre, and because I have to take notes, they let me have a notebook and a pen. So obviously I'm going to write poems. So this is one of the ones I wrote at work when I should have been working. well, in between, in the middle. Brain doing two things at once, I guess. So here we go. On my way to work, block out, bus rumbling, I listen to songs of sea longing. The doodles I make at my desk are perfect waves, calm undulations, a memory of a lack of tension, the way coarse sand supports a foot. Shocked such banality exists by the sea, I can hear seagulls over the intercom, and whether I'm confusing waves with static, I cannot say. Okay, I'm going to do another one that I wrote for Stirred. In one of our workshops we were doing a kind of apocalyptic theme, and I ended up writing this about flooding. It's about I've got lots and lots of books in my house, like many people. I have all these terrible fears that one day they're all just going to explode or something terrible is going to happen to them. So that's where this came from. Pop, 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 pop. The way water bubbles up, enters houses unbidden, sluicing through a safe place with all the dirt and debris it has met on the way. Noble, redundant gestures of sandbags and fleeing up. When built, these water rushes, not planned for, geysering, weather was less sudden, a fish life not thought of, the calm that was known behind a locked door. Water knows nothing of locks. The force unbolts and splinters security. I will never take a ground floor flat, nightmares of waterlogged paperbacks, swollen, dirtied, unreadable. This is what is known as an epistolary poem, which is basically a fancy way of saying it's a letter. And again, those of you that know your kind of 90s indie music may understand where I've nicked some of the lines from, but nicked is, you know, I've used them and changed them somewhat, so they're not totally lifted. This is called Dear Birdhouse. We are instructed to make a little birdhouse in our soul. Where does one place such an object when one does not believe in such a theological construct? It supposes a soul has a hole in it, that you could with a thumb slit it like a fragrant, almost human, tan-skinned apricot, thumb a space deep inside, a little room for a man to hide or place a birdhouse in, afterwards closing the flesh, hiding starlings, fluttering forever in your soul, the course of emotional fervour, trapped to flight. The birdhouse shrunk as simply as a child perceives their own translucent thumbnail to be the equal of the crescent moon. Romans called the soul animus, to remind us that we are all animals, our arms, featherless wings. We have spent our lives as a species relearning how to fly. Once we were grounded by evolution. Yours, perplexed. Yeah, I always worry about, because I perform so often in Manchester doing poems that everyone has heard before, but there seems to be people in here who definitely do not know me, so I can probably get away with this one. I think the first time I met Richard was the Pussy Riot event. And that was, again, one of the other poetry projects I was incredibly proud to be part of, because these poems were not only put together in a collection and translated into Russian as a message of support to the members of Pussy Riot. The book was sold by Penn and the money went to their legal fund, so it felt like a way of art actually making a difference, which is something that I really do believe in. You know, often art is a cathartic thing for oneself, but when you can use it to actually help other people is my favourite thing to do. But this poem wasn't written specifically for that, it just seemed relevant to mention it because Richard is here, of course. But this is called Matisse, and it's after Matisse's Blue Women, the women in bits that he did at the end of his life that are colourful, painted pieces of paper, or a colour lithograph after a paper cut out in gouache, as is the technical term. But this is Matisse. Tell me about the blue women of your acquaintance. Tell me you see the waves of electric blue emanating from grey clothes, contorted, sectioned off, head severed, held on by empty hands, limbs folded, protecting the body, the acute blue body, the body radiating blueness and the cause of blueness in its largeness, its smallness, its marks, the drugs, the want, the need, the surplus, old fingerprints, its victories, its refusals. Only blue women really sing the blues. Their treble clefs and quavers blue between the lines on sheet music, in their breath, out of speakers, in steam, in showers, all unnoticed, in tears and cheap, scorching whiskey, trembling, cerulean fading to stonewash into the troposphere. I am a blue woman too. After the smell of spent explosives dissipates on the 6th of November till the wilting of daffodils on the 6th of April, I too am gas flame pained, burning up those who touch. Blue women are too sharp, walking blades, they cut swathes unnoticed. Okay, yes. Yes, I'll do this one. Yeah, I noticed after I actually put this book together, there's 2 poems that use the word animus in it. Yeah, I did a bit of Latin at school, I wasn't very good at it, but they're just odd words stuck in my brain and they kind of come out in poetry sometimes. This one's called Animus Atlas. The idea is, with an Animus Atlas, is kind of an atlas of the brain rather than anything else. Mind map, I suppose, is the way, so it's this one. And it is about Manchester for me, because even though it's not explicit, those places in it are definitely in Manchester and they are real. Places that are real. Show me your city, the exact route you walk home, past the delicious blood-red Triumph two-seater where you had to steal those narcissi poking through the fence posts so teasingly, and Morrissey it down the street. Your mind map is not your memories. You cannot show me how you experience the strange talc taste of lavender ice cream, despite replicating its hue exactly. Map for me your mindscape. Show me its shadows, the half-forgotten paths of mental arithmetic, the times table languishing, unused in their dusty corner. Map your lovers' bodies. Beneath the amber glow of ex-gas lamps, place each of their scars and birthmarks under the cloth in the pub. Map for me your territory. I can show you how mine shrinks and expands with the distortions of my mindscape. It will tell you everything. How I avoided that corner shop after wheeling in a collapsing clothes rail like a broken Trojan horse. Maps of train routes lie with their straight lines. Show me the heron you spied on that false ruler, the true deviations, its snake bends and veers. Map for me the garden of your childhood, the spot where you chipped your milk tooth. Show me its desiccated briars and thorns. Okay, I'm going to do one last poem, I think, as I appear to have time for that. Do you want Frank O'Hara style stuff or a sea poem?
Frank O'Hara.
Yes, there we go, good. Yes, we'll end on a good note. This is one of the ones I did for NaPoWriMo. It was to do a poem like Frank O'Hara's fortune cookie poem. So here is mine, that will hopefully end on an uplifting note, like I found his poetry to do for me. So this is my fortune cookie poem. Stop trying to fill the hole inside of you. Recognise your achievements. Don't prepare for rain every day. We all live lives of folly and bravery. Accept the love that is offered you. Expounding on your unworthiness means nothing. Try to reconnect your body and mind. Learn to say when you are floundering, always remember the only constant is change.